So, hi everyone, and welcome to our topic, which is the objective of this topic is to calculate the future value and present value. So, dito malalaman natin yung difference, ano ba yung future value at yung present value. And at the same time, no, you will have the experience na makompute yung loan amortization using mathematical concepts, no? And naka-tables din siya, no? And at the same time, no, you could able to apply yung mga concepts na yon and tools for finance and investment problems. So later, we're going to talk no, some of the finance and investment problems that the business are experiencing. And of course, we will also focus on the what we call risk-return trade-off. So, as stated, a peso today is worth more than a peso tomorrow. So, ito yung tinatawag nating time value of money. No? Sabi nga dito, it would tell us that a peso today is not equal to a peso in the future. Diba? Kung ano man yung piso ngayon, hindi yan yung equivalent ng piso sa kinabukasan. So, ito yung most basic related formula in the computation of interest, which is I equals to P times R times T, wherein I is interest, P is principal, R is interest rate, and T is time period. So ito yung ilan sa mga example ng mga, ng mga questions. And you can, of course, so you have somehow, no, I have an idea on this one. For example, no, for you to be able to get the interest rate of this one, so 18,000, okay, times 6%, so that's 0.06, and then times 2, because 2 years. So, so for you to be able to compute that, okay, let's try it. So 18,000 times 0.06 times 2. So the interest rate based on the computation is 2,160. Okay? So you could able to try the others, no? For this one, since this is not a year, you're going to divide it into 12, no? So 8 months divided by 12. Okay? So therefore, the conversion of that is this one, no? 8 divided by 12. So that's 0.666 up to 67, no? Ayan, times mo yan sa 0.02 times 25,000 and so on and so forth. So sabi nga dito, in general business terms, interest is defined as the cost of using money over time. So this definition is in close agreement with the definition used by economists who prefer to say that the interest represents the time value of money. So kumbaga, yung interest no, can be congruent to the what we call time value money. Kung saan yung interest no, is yun nga, yung equivalent ng peso today is not equivalent to the peso in the future. Sabi din dito, interest is the excess of resources, usually cash received or paid over the amount of resources loaned or borrowed, which is called the principal. So whenever we do loan, no, whenever we borrow money from the financial institution, syempre ang kapalit nun, bukod dun sa principal or original amount na hiniram mo, is the interest. So if you decided to invest your money in a bank, you will ask the banker how much interest you will get, of course, since you're going to put your money in the bank. The banker will explain that there are two types of interest that would be used to determine the amount of interest that you are going to receive. Remember that interest is beneficial when you are receiving it but not when you are paying it. Okay, kumbaga, kung ikaw ay nag-invest at nagkaroon ng interest, so syempre, that's favorable to you. On the other hand, if you borrow money and you pay for the interest, that is unfavorable to you. So it is important to know which type of interest when deciding where to put your money and where to get the money. So dito class, no, pag tayo nanghiram kasi ng pera, it should have a rational purpose. Okay? Um, it should have a rational purpose, which means that you're going to borrow money, let's say, for you to expand your business, and you have this intention of course, no, using that money to buy more products, for you to sell those products and earn no more income once you borrow money. So this is an example of simple interest wherein simple interest is the product of the principal amount multiplied by the period's interest rate, a one-year rate in standard. So for example, you invested 10,000 pesos for 3 years at 9% and the proceeds from the investment will be collected at the end of the 3 years. Okay? So using the simple interest assumption, ito yung mangyayari. So, on the year 1, syempre, ang principal mo ay 10,000 at ang interest mo is 900 pesos. Okay? So, therefore, yung total na amount is going to be 10,900. No? 10,000 plus 900. On the second year, of course, again, no, you earn an interest rate of 900. So from the 900 interest, naging 1,800. So yung dati mong 10,000, naging 11,800 na. On the other hand, the principal on the third year is still 10,000 and then you get again an interest of 900. So therefore, no, ang total cumulative interest mo na is 2,700 and the total amount is 12,700. So the next one is the what we call compound interest, kung saan the interest paid on both the principal and the amount of interest accumulated in prior periods. So kumbaga, this is different from simple interest kasi dito, kinoconsider natin both yung principal at yung interest at doon tayo magkakaroon ng original amount no, for us to compute another interest. So for example, no, where dito kasi diba you invested 10,000 for 3 years at 9% and the proceeds from the investment will be collected at the end of the 3 years. So dito class, no, i-compute natin yung compound interest. So as you can see, no, the formula for the compound interest is using this one, which is the future value is equals to the principal times 1 plus I raised to the power of n, no? Wherein the I no, represent the interest rate per compound interest period or periodic period, while the time period or number of compound interest periods no, represent by letter N. So, to cut the story short, let's have this example. So, ang principal natin nung year 1 is 10,000. Then, we have an interest rate of 900. So, ang total nating amount is 10,900. As you can see, pag compound interest, diba, yung kanyang principal ay dumagdag dito. So, therefore, ang gagamitin na natin this one, no, 10,900 times 0.09. So, pansin nyo, diba, nadagdagan na interest. No? From 900, naging 981. So, 900 plus 981, that will be 1,881. So, ang magiging total na is 11,881. And then, no, that will be now the principal on the year 3, wherein, as you can see, the interest rate from 900, 981, naging 1,069.29 na, diba? And the cumulative interest now is 2,950.29. And now the amount is now 12,950. Okay, so that is the total amount once you use the compound interest or the future value. So we have another example here, which is determine the compound interest amount on an investment at the end of 2 years if 20,000 is deposited at 4% compounded semi-annually and quarterly. So, paano natin siya gagawin, no? So, ang given natin is 20,000. Siya yung ating present value. Ngayon, dito, no, lumalabas na interest is 0.04 divided by 2. Okay? Kasi nga, semi-annually, diba? It means twice a year. Diba? 4% compounded semi-annually. So, that is twice a year. Okay? So, therefore, 0.04 divided by 2. And then, no, as you can see, our n is 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Bakit? Kasi 2 years siya, tapos for every year, nagko-compound siya semi-annually. Nagigets nyo? Ulitin ko, 2 years siya, pero nagko-compound siya semi-annually, which is twice a year. That's why 2 times 2 is equals to 4. So once we get those, no, we have this given na 20,000 times 1 plus yan, no, 0.04 divided by 2 raised to the power of 4, then we will get 21,648. So always use the PEMDAS, no? PEMDAS. Okay? And then, after that, ito naman, no, same given, 20,000. Pero in this case, no, 0.04 divided by 4. Bakit? Kasi po, that is quarterly. It means that it will be compounded quarterly per year. So therefore, we're going to divide it by 4. Then, as you can see, uh, uh, 4 daw siya kasi 4 times nga in a year and 2 years yung magiging total, no. So dapat pala ito yung sinabi ko. Okay. Sorry, there's a confusion, no. So unahin pala natin yung kung ano ba siya, no, kung quarterly ba siya or semi-annual. So in this case, semi-annually kaya quarterly kaya siya 4 times the 2 years. So that is equals to 8, 'di ba? So therefore, using the future value formula, 20,000 times 1 plus 0.04 divided by 4 raised to the power of 8, then we will get 21,658. So the next one is the what we call present value of money. Wherein, no, for you to be able to get the present value of a lump sum amount, ito yung ating equation, no? So we're going to rearrange the equation, which is present value is equals to future value times 1 plus I raised to the negative n, no? Wherein 1 plus I, no, raised to the negative n is equals to the present value interest factor, or the what we call DVIF, or discount factor. So later you're going to understand this one. So for example, no, Jack would like to buy a car 2 years from now, no, using the proceeds of a 20% investment that is compounded semi-annually. So if the projected price of the car is 1.4 million, how much money must be invested today to earn the price of the car? So, kunyari, no, gusto mo daw bumili ng kotse at gusto mo daw gamitin yung proceeds, no, ng investment na yon sa pagbili mo ng kotse. So, magkano ba ang kailangan i-invest daw ni Jack para makuha niya yung kotse na yun na 1.4 million? Okay? So, magkano yung kailangan niyang invest for this 2 years? So, given the formula, our future value is 1.4 million. Okay? So 1.4 million. Ngayon, let's say no, the investment no that you're going to have is, meron siyang 20% no investment na nako-compound siya semi-annually. So therefore, 0.20 divided by 2. Okay? That is going to be the interest rate or the discount factor. And then of course, no, as you can see, ganun pa rin, no, semi-annually siya, and it will be in 2 years. Okay? Pero gagawin natin siyang negative since we are using present value. So therefore, 1.4 million times 1 plus 0.20 divided by 2 raised to the power of negative 4, then we will get 956,200. So meaning, kailangan niyang mag-invest ngayon ng 956,200 para in 2 years, magiging 1.4 million na yon. Okay? At yun, mabibili niya na yung kanyang kotse. So, here class, now we have this what we call annuities, wherein it is an installment that requires a buyer to pay equal payments at certain period, no? Illustrate an annuity. So, dito, no, is meron tayong mga series of cash flow kung saan nakikita natin yung payment ay nangyayari sa different number of periods. Okay? So, normally, ang annuity in the Philippines, ginagawa yan for mga pension plans, no? Pero in this case, no, this is a different example, no? Pero sige, let's focus on this one. So if payment is made and interest is computed at the end of each payment interval, then it is called ordinary annuity. And to get the present value interest factor for an ordinary annuity, we will have this formula, no, which is PB is equals to R uh, times 1 minus 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n divided by I. Okay? Which is R is the regular payment. And to get the future value of an ordinary annuity, we will use this formula. FB is equals to the regular payment. Okay? This times the 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 divided by I. So to have an example, no? So what lump sum would have to be invested at 6% compounded annually to provide an ordinary annuity of 10,000 per year for 4 years? So dito is parang sinasabi niya na magkano daw ba yung kubuang babayaran, no, ng isang investor na kailangan niyang invest at na yun nga nagko-compound yung 6% annually para magkaroon siya ng ordinary annuity of 10,000 per year for 4 years, no? Kumbaga every year makaka-receive siya ng 10,000. Okay? So therefore, ito yung gagawin niya, no? R, no, which is 10,000, that is the regular, I mean, yun yung gusto niya matanggap, no, na ordinary annuity every year for 4 years. Then the interest rate, as you can see, is 0.06, right? So, divided by 1 kasi compound annually siya, hindi siya semi-annually. So, divided by 1. So, yun. Then, yung n natin is, of course, no, 1, okay, times 4. Okay? Wherein, kasi nga, no, hindi naman siya, compounded annually siya. So, that is 1 lang. And then, we're going to multiply it by 4 years. Okay? So, that is going to be 4. So, using the formula given, no, for us to get the present value, magkano ba ang invest mo para every year, pero kang 10,000. So, 10,000 times, no, 1 minus 1 plus 0.06 raised to the power of negative 4, then divided by 0.06, that would be 34,651. So if the cash flow happens at the beginning of each period, then it is called annuity due. The formulas to use are shown below. Okay? So, let's have an example. No? Sabi dito, kung yung supplier daw would allow you to pay 50,000 pesos annually at 10% for 3 years, no? And yung first payment due immediately, how much ba yung magiging present value and future value nung amount na yon? So in this case, no, yung regular payment natin na kailangan bayaran is 50,000. No? That is going to be for 3 years. And then as you can see, 10% yung interest rate niya, and that is annually, kaya siya divided by 1. And then yung ating period is annually siya times the 3 years. So that will be 3. Okay? Para makuha natin yung present value, so using the formula, 50,000 times 1 plus 0.10, okay? Times this 1 minus 1 plus 0.10 raised to the power of negative 3. Okay, because we're using the present value, and of course, no, divided by 0.10. So we will get 136,775. So kumbaga, parang lumalabas ang present value nung di ba tatlong beses ka magbabayad, di ba? 150,000 kasi times 3, di ba? So parang lumalabas yung present value nun kung babayaran mo siya ng buo na yun nga, no, kung gusto mo talagang anuhin, no, hindi ka magbayad ng 150,000 is 136,000. Can you follow? So parang ganun yung pinaka-thought nun. Okay? Pero of course, no, on the side of the business, maybe they don't have enough cash flow to pay this amount. Kaya ginawa nila parang installment ng 3 taon. Okay? Parang ganun yung thought. So may merong strategy to fasten the computation, which is titingin ka dun sa factor table. So ita-times mo lang to sa 2.7355, no, para makuha mo to. Okay, but of course we will be using the long cut. So the next one is of course the future value. We're in 50,000, no, times this 1 plus 0.10, no, times 1 plus 0.10 raised to the power of 3, positive kasi future value. Ayan, no? Divided by 10, okay, minus 1, okay? So that will be 182,050. So dito naman class is parang sinasabi naman na uh, oo nga no, once na ikaw ay nag-installment ng 3 beses, 150,000, no? Kasi 3 years, di ba? Parang lumalabas is kan paano naman is kikita ka pa rin naman doon kasi may future value siya na 180,050. Diba? So therefore, yun, no? Parang ganun yung thought na kasi supplier eh. It's either you buy an equipment or supplies. No? I don't know kung ano yung, wala naman sinabing sitwasyon dito. Pero ang point doon is that, yun nga, parang nagbayad ka ng 50,000 every year at kung anong future value nun, that will be 180,000, 82,000. So tumubo ka pa rin. So ang fastest way to do that is using the factor table. Ito times mo lang dito sa 3.6410. Okay, so again, that is the long method. So if the cash flow stream lasts forever or is indefinite, then it is called perpetuity. The formula presented value is of a perpetuity is simply fee is equals to regular payment divided by the interest. So now we will proceed with the loan amortization. So sabi naman dito na most housing and a car loan are amortizing loans that require the borrower to pay that equal amount either annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. So dito is nangungutang tayo. No? So pwedeng bayaran yan, no? Depende. Pwedeng annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or every month. So let's have a look on a corporate loan wherein for some corporate loans, no, principal payment is fixed, no, and the interest expense is adjusted based on the declining principal balance. So for this example, on July 1 of 2015, no, this company no, borrowed 3 million from ASC Bank at the rate of 10% a year. The loan is paid at rate of 500,000 every December 31 and June 30 until the full amount is paid. No? So this is an example of the table. Ayan. So as you can see, ang 3 million yung principal balance natin. Tapos, as you can see, yung ating principal payment is 500,000 while the interest is 150,000. No? So, therefore, ang total payment natin for December 31 is 650. Okay? So ngayon, ito na yung magiging ano natin, no? Dito, principal payment, no? Kasi nga nabawasan na ng 500,000. Okay? So 2,500. Ay 2,500,000 rather. And then on this case, no, nagbayad ulit tayo ng 500,000. So ang ating principal balance na is 2 million. Then of course, bumaba yung interest rate natin kasi bumaba din yung principal natin. So from the payment 650,000 naging 625,000 na lang siya. And so on and so forth until we reach the zero principal and we pay all of the amount. So to compute for the interest expense from June 30 to December 31, 2015, ito lang yung formula natin which is 300,000 times 10% times 6 divided by 12 which is 150,000. No? So yun yung ating naging formula in computing that. And to compute the equal regular payment, use the formula. So ito yung ginamit nating formula. So another one, you borrowed 50,000 from a bank to buy a mobile phone, assuming you need to repay the loan by equal payments at the end of every 6 months for 3 years at 10% compounded semi-annually. So what is your periodic payment? So using the formula presented a while ago, so your present value is 50,000, your interest rate is 10%, which is compounded semi-annually, kaya divided by 2. Then of course, 2, which is semi-annually yan, times the 3 years. So therefore, you will get this amount. So yan yung magiging periodic payment mo every 6 months, 9,800.86. So ito yata yung yung parang pwede mo lang siyang i-times, no? Parang sa ganun, mabilis na. Ito yung long method. Then the next one is the net present value method. One useful application of the time value of money is using the net present value method to determine whether a project should be accepted or rejected by the company. Kasi class, when you're proposing to a company, dapat pinapakita mo na talagang may balik yun. No? So using the net present value, mapapakita mo yun, which is the basic formula is PP of inflows minus the PP of outflows. No? Or net present value is PP of future cash flows minus the initial investment. So example, no, a company wants to purchase an equipment that will cost 100,000 and estimate to be used for 5 years. No? Operating cash inflows from the use of equipment would be 50,000 while annual operating cash outflows due to repairs and maintenance are estimated of 10,000. So using this formula, no, you have this one which is 40,000, 1 minus 1 plus 0.10 raised to the power of negative 5 because yun nga, siya ay 5 years divided by 0.10. So with that, no, we will get this one, 40,000 times 3.798, and we will have a future present value of future cash flows na 151,632. So lamang do sa 100,000. And lastly, we have this risk-return trade-off, no? Kung saan, no, in finance, we assume the individuals are risk-averse but have different levels of risk or of risk aversion, no? Risk aversion means that the individuals, no, maximize risk returns for a given level of risk or minimize risk if the returns are the same. So, risk-averse individuals would require a higher return if the risk level increases. So, syempre, ang pinaka-point of view lang yan, higher risk, higher return. Lower risk, lower return. Ganun lang naman kasimple yan. Diba? Parang, if you're going to put your money on a high risk, then you are expecting a high return. Pero pag low risk, syempre low return. So risk is defined here as the uncertainty of returns. Now, one way to reduce risk is to have an acceptable level, no, which is through diversification. Kung saan yung pag-invest mo ay in-invest mo sa different types of investment. No? Sabi nga dito, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So that will be all and thank you so much.